the most powerful man on earth, spent his nights writing about death. Not victory, not conquest. Death. And what he understood might explain why Rome didn't survive.
Power is not given. It is taken. It moves in silence. It controls perception. Psychology of power. Master the mind. Control the game.
Rome did not fall in a single day. It did not collapse under one catastrophic event. There was no single battle that ended it. Instead, it began to fall at the exact moment it seemed most powerful. At its peak, when its borders stretched across continents, when its armies were unmatched, when its authority seemed eternal. Something invisible had already begun. A slow fracture, a silent decay. And at the center of it all stood a man who may have seen it coming. A man who ruled the greatest empire on earth, and yet spent his nights writing about death, impermanence, and the illusion of control. Marcus Aurelius. He did not write about conquest. He did not celebrate power. He wrote as if everything around him was already slipping away. And maybe it was. Its height, Rome was not just a civilization, it was the world. From the cold frontiers of Britain, to the deserts of North Africa, to the rich provinces of the East, Rome did not simply expand. It absorbed, it consumed, it imposed order on chaos. Every road led back to its center. Every system bent toward its authority. Its legions were discipline made flesh. Its laws shaped entire cultures. Its presence was inevitable, and for those living within it, it felt eternal. Because how could something so vast ever fall? But expansion carries a hidden cost. Every new territory adds pressure. Every conquest stretches the system thinner. Every victory creates new vulnerabilities. And beneath the surface of Rome's greatness, something was changing. Not suddenly, not violently, but slowly, quietly, irreversibly. What if the beginning of Rome's fall was not a defeat, but a mindset? Marcus Aurelius did not seek power. He inherited it, raised not as a conqueror, but as a thinker. He was drawn to philosophy long before he wore a crown. While others trained for war, he trained his mind. While others chased glory, he studied restraint. And when he finally became emperor, he did so not with ambition, but with hesitation. Because he understood something few rulers ever do. Power does not solve chaos. It exposes it. In his private writings, never meant to be read, he returned again and again to a single idea. You cannot control what happens. You can only control how you respond. This was not weakness, it was discipline. A refusal to be consumed by the illusion of control. Because Marcus Aurelius ruled over something no human could ever truly control. An empire too large to stabilize, too complex to predict, too fragile to remain eternal. While Rome appeared stable, its borders were under constant pressure. To the north, Germanic tribes pushed against the frontier, not as a unified enemy, but as a constant force. Endless, unpredictable. To the east, political tensions simmered with Parthia, and within the empire itself. A different threat was spreading, not armies, not rebellion, but disease. It began quietly, a sickness brought back by soldiers at first, isolated, then spreading, then unstoppable. Cities weakened, armies thinned, entire regions destabilized. The Antonine Plague did not destroy Rome overnight, but it changed something fundamental. It revealed a truth no empire can escape. Strength is temporary, control is fragile, and systems, no matter how powerful, can collapse under pressure they cannot see. And while Rome struggled to survive something it could not fight, its emperor was writing about something even more dangerous: the human tendency to believe that power lasts forever. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This was not pessimism. It was clarity, a recognition that everything, power, wealth, empire, exists on borrowed time. And perhaps that is what made him different. Because while others saw Rome as permanent, he saw it as temporary. But philosophy does not stop war, and soon Marcus Aurelius found himself leading campaigns on the northern frontier, not from a throne, but from the battlefield. Cold, exhausting, relentless. The Marcomannic Wars were not glorious conquests. They were defensive, desperate, and they revealed something Rome had not faced in generations: limits. The empire was no longer expanding outward. It was holding its ground, struggling to maintain what it already had. And every battle, every loss, every moment of strain pushed it closer to something it had never experienced before: stagnation. And when an empire stops growing, what happens next? Expansion hides weakness. Growth masks instability. But when growth stops, reality becomes visible. Economic pressure increases. Military strain intensifies. Political cracks begin to form. And Rome, for the first time in centuries, was no longer moving forward. It was holding on. Marcus Aurelius understood something most leaders never accept. You cannot stop decline, you can only delay it. And so instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, he focused inward. Discipline, restraint, clarity. Not because it would save Rome, but because it was the only thing he could truly control. But even the most disciplined mind cannot control what comes after it. Because while Marcus Aurelius fought to hold the empire together, a decision was already forming, a choice that would shape the future of Rome. More than any war, more than any plague, more than any philosophy, a decision about succession, about legacy, about who would rule after him. And unlike his thoughts, unlike his discipline, unlike his awareness of impermanence, this decision would not be guided by philosophy. Rome was still standing, still powerful, still vast. But something had changed, not outside, inside, and the man who understood the fragility of everything was about to make the one choice that would accelerate the fall he knew was inevitable. Rome still stood. Its borders were intact. Its armies still feared. Its emperor still disciplined. But history does not collapse from the outside first. It collapses from within. And the next fracture would not come from enemies. It would come from succession. Commodus was not raised in chaos. He was born into absolute power. Unlike Marcus Aurelius, he did not earn discipline. He inherited control. And that difference changes everything. Where Marcus saw responsibility, Commodus saw entitlement. where Marcus saw impermanence. Commodus saw dominance, where Marcus restrained himself. Commodus indulged, because power does not corrupt instantly, it reveals. And what it revealed in Commodus was not strength, but instability. What happens when absolute power is given to someone who has never had to earn it? For nearly a century, Rome had been ruled by emperors chosen not by blood, but by merit. Adopted heirs, tested leaders, disciplined minds. This system created stability. It filtered weakness. It delayed collapse. But Marcus Aurelius broke that pattern, not out of ignorance, but out of something far more human: attachment. Instead of choosing the most capable successor, he chose his son. And in doing so, he replaced discipline with lineage. And that single decision would echo through the empire long after his death. Commodus did not govern Rome. He performed it. He saw himself not as emperor, but as a figure of spectacle. He fought as a gladiator. He renamed Rome after himself. He demanded worship, not respect. And slowly, the system began to shift. The empire did not collapse overnight. It adapted to weakness. Corruption increased. Loyalty became transactional. Power shifted away from structure toward personality. And that is where empires begin to decay, not when they are attacked, but when they lose internal discipline. Because once discipline disappears, something else takes its place. After Commodus, Rome did not stabilize. It fractured, not in borders, but in structure. Emperors rose quickly, fell quickly, assassinated, replaced, repeated. For decades, Rome existed in a state of instability. Multiple emperors at once, civil wars, breakaway regions, a system designed for order. Now producing chaos, the empire split. The Gallic Empire in the west, the Palmyrene Empire in the east. Rome was no longer one, and when unity breaks, power becomes an illusion. War is expensive. Instability is worse. To sustain itself, Rome began to devalue its own currency. Coins lost silver. Trust disappeared. Prices rose. Trade weakened. And slowly, the invisible foundation of the empire collapsed. Empires do not fall when armies lose. They fall when systems stop functioning, when trust disappears, when structure dissolves, when survival replaces growth. The army was no longer just protection. It became authority. Emperors were no longer chosen. They were installed or removed by force. Loyalty shifted from Rome to whoever paid more. And when loyalty becomes transactional, nothing remains stable. Reforms came. Diocletian, he divided the empire, created the tetrarchy. 4 rulers, shared control. For a moment, it worked. But dividing power does not remove instability. It distributes it. He reunified the empire, shifted the capital, founded Constantinople, changed religion, restructured identity, and again, Rome stabilized, but only on the surface. Because beneath every reform, the same truth remained. Rome was no longer what it once was. By the time the final centuries arrived, Rome was still standing. But it was no longer dominant. It was reactive, defensive, Exhausted, the Western Roman Empire weakened, pressured from all sides. Goths, Vandals, internal decay, external force, until finally, in 476 AD, it ended, the last emperor of the West. Romulus Augustulus was removed, not in a dramatic battle, but quietly, almost inevitably, because by then, Rome had already fallen. Empires do not collapse in moments, they collapse in patterns, in decisions, in shifts so small, they go unnoticed, until it is too late. Marcus Aurelius never saw the fall of Rome, but he understood something deeper, that nothing built by humans is permanent. Control is temporary. Power is fragile. Structure is vulnerable. And time removes everything. The fall of Rome is not history. It is a pattern, one that repeats, in nations, in systems, in people. Rome did not fall because it was weak. It fell because it became something different, something less disciplined, less stable, less aware. And in the end, that is how all power disappears, not with a sudden collapse, but with a slow, unnoticed end. And Rome would not be the last.